You refresh the app. Your net worth was $999,842. Now it says $1,013,000. That's it. No confetti, no phone call from the bank, no sudden feeling that you've unlocked some secret level of adulthood. Tomorrow is still Tuesday. You still have stuff to do, and somehow becoming a millionaire feels weirdly similar to not being a millionaire 5 minutes ago. And if you're thinking, yeah, cool problem to have, this is actually about you way earlier than $1 million. Maybe you've told yourself, I'll finally relax when I save $10,000. Or once I make six figures, I'll feel successful. Or even if I could just get my checking account to stop looking like a crime scene after rent, then I'd be good. The number changes depending on where you are, but the promise is usually the same. Once I hit that number, I'll feel different. And here's the first thing to understand. If a number has no specific job, your life has almost nothing to notice when you hit it. Think about the difference between $999,900 and $1,100,000. Psychologically, one number says not a millionaire and the other says millionaire. But your actual life, almost identical. Same apartment, same job, same car, same grocery store. The number crossed a line, but your life didn't. And that disconnect is exactly why big financial milestones can feel so much quieter than we imagine. You've probably already experienced a smaller version of this. Say your take-home pay goes from around $3,600 a month to $4,000. That first bigger paycheck feels amazing. $400 extra dollars. You start imagining all the breathing room you're finally going to have. Then a few months pass and $4,000 just feels like your paycheck. The raise didn't disappear. Your brain just stopped treating it like breaking news. Savings works the same way. There was probably a point when having $1,000 sitting untouched felt huge. Then maybe $5,000 became the goal, then $10,000. And the second you get comfortable with one number, your brain looks up and finds another one standing farther down the road. If you like money explained through what it actually does to your paycheck and your real life, that's exactly what this channel is for. Now add one more thing. When someone says, I'm worth $1,000,000, that does not usually mean there's $1,000,000 sitting and checking ready for a target run of historic proportions. Their net worth could be spread across investments, retirement accounts, cash, maybe home equity, maybe other assets. So the big cinematic moment of I became a millionaire might literally be a spreadsheet updating by a few $100s. You don't wake up with a debit card that suddenly has $1,000,000 available on it. Which means the better question isn't, why doesn't $1,000,000 feel like enough? The better question is, what exactly was I expecting the million to do? Were you expecting it to make you feel safe, let you quit your job, make you stop checking prices, make bills emotionally disappear, make you feel successful, make you stop comparing yourself with people who have more? Those are completely different jobs, and one number cannot automatically do all of them. And this is where things get more interesting because the million actually can change your life, just maybe not in the way you were watching for. Imagine two people who both have a net worth of exactly $1,000,000. Same number, completely different experience. And person A has pretty manageable monthly obligations. Housing isn't eating the whole paycheck. There's no high interest credit card balance hanging around. The car is affordable. Their lifestyle doesn't require a giant amount of money every single month just to keep everything running. If work suddenly becomes miserable, this person can think, I don't have to solve this today. That sentence is worth more than it sounds. Person B also has $1,000,000 net worth, but their monthly life is expensive. Bigger housing payment, big car payment, higher insurance, expensive trips that now feel normal, recurring spending everywhere, maybe debt payments on top of that. Their income has to keep showing up at a high level because the lifestyle built around it expects to be fed every month like a very polite financial monster. On paper, both people are millionaires, but their ability to say no is completely different. No to a bad job, no to a terrible loan, no to putting an emergency on a credit card, no to making a rush decision because the next paycheck has to arrive on schedule. That's a much more useful way to think about wealth than just asking, how big is the pile? Ask a different question. How much control does that pile give you over your life? How long could you handle a disruption without panicking? How dangerous is an unexpected expense? How many monthly obligations are locked in? Could you turn down a bad financial choice because you actually have another option? Two people can have the same $1,000,000, and one person feels protected while the other feels like they're running on a very expensive treadmill. There's another reason the big number can feel weirdly small once you reach it. The finish line moves. At first, it's, if I had $100,000, I'd be set. Then you get closer and think, okay, maybe $250,000. Then $500,000 starts sounding safer. Then 1 million. Then you meet someone with 3 million, or you read about someone your age who sold a company, and suddenly yesterday's dream looks suspiciously average. And you don't need $1 million for this to happen either. Maybe $55,000 a year once sounded like a great salary. Then you finally make $55,000, and a coworker mentions they make $70,000. Nothing about your paycheck changed in that conversation, but somehow it feels smaller. That's what happens when money turns into a scoreboard instead of a tool. If your goal is only a number, the finish line has a nasty habit of moving the second you reach it. But none of this means money doesn't matter. That would be the completely wrong takeaway. Money matters enormously. It can absorb shocks. It can get expensive debt out of your life. It can buy you time to make a better decision instead of the fastest decision. It can let you leave something that isn't working. It can make you less dependent on whatever happens with your next paycheck. And here's the part people don't imagine when they picture being wealthy. Some of the best benefits are incredibly boring. Your car breaks and you're annoyed, but you're not destroyed. Your boss is making you miserable, but you don't feel completely trapped. An unexpected bill shows up and it doesn't immediately become new credit card debt. You get to think before you panic. Money's strongest benefit often isn't excitement. It's reduced pressure. That's why someone can cross $1 million and feel almost nothing in that exact moment while still being in a dramatically stronger financial position than they were years earlier. They were expecting fireworks from something that mostly creates options. And options are quiet. Nobody throws you a party because you can now survive 6 months without a paycheck. There's no trophy for being able to walk away from a terrible deal. But those things change the way your life works. So instead of asking your next money goal to make you feel rich, give the number a job. Open the Notes app on your phone and write down your next financial target. Maybe it's $10,000 saved. Maybe it's paying off a credit card. Maybe it's $25,000 invested. Then underneath it, write one question. What am I expecting this money to do? Not, what am I hoping it feels like? What does it actually do? Maybe $10,000 means you could survive a job loss without immediately borrowing money. Maybe it means a car repair stops being a full-blown financial emergency. Maybe it gives you enough breathing room to move. Maybe it means you can stop taking overtime every single time it's offered because missing one shift no longer scares you. That's a real job for a number. And then go one step further and ask 3 simple questions. What can I stop doing when I hit this number? What can I start doing? What decision becomes easier? Maybe you stop panicking every time something unexpected happens. Maybe you can start looking for a better job without accepting the first offer out of fear. Maybe you can repair the car with cash instead of turning one bad afternoon into 6 months of credit card payments. If your number doesn't change anything you can name, it may be a scoreboard, not a life goal. And once you see that, your real target might actually be smaller than you thought. Or much bigger, because now you're not choosing a number because it sounds impressive. You're choosing it based on what you want your money to change. You also don't have to stop tracking net worth. Just add a second scoreboard next to it. Don't only write savings $10,000. Write savings $10,000, about 3 months of my core expenses covered. Don't only write debt balance 0. Write that monthly payment is gone and that money belongs to me again. Don't only write investment account $25,000. Write part of my future is now being funded by money I already earned. The exact numbers will be different for everyone. The point is to translate money into what it changes. Now go back to that phone screen, $1,013. Maybe you still don't feel dramatically different. Maybe you lock the phone and go make dinner. That doesn't mean the million failed. The better questions are, what do you no longer have to tolerate? Which emergencies are less dangerous now? How much of your time do you control? Which decisions can you make more slowly because panic isn't making them for you? $1 million can change your options without changing your Tuesday. And that may actually be the point. Wealth doesn't have to make you feel rich every morning. Sometimes the clearest sign that your money is working is simply that your life has more room. So try this today. Write down your next number, then underneath it write, when I hit this, these 3 things change. Fill in 3 real changes. If you can't, rethink the goal until the money has a job. The point of building wealth isn't to stare at a number one day and suddenly become a different person. It's to slowly reduce the number of decisions money is allowed to make for you and increase the number of decisions you get to make for yourself. If you want more money conversations built around that kind of control, stability, and real life choice, subscribe to Leon Knows Money.